When in production, an Express application or any server written in Node.js, regardless of the chosen framework, must be able to automatically restart in case of a crash or reload upon code changes with a minimal amount of downtime. As the server is not capable of performing these tasks itself, we need to delegate them to a special type of program called a process manager, whose primary job is to keep the application running forever. That being said, certain process managers, such as PM2, also offer the possibility to gain insight into runtime performance and resource consumption, load balance the different instances, manage the logs, and many other things. So in this lesson, I will start by giving you a quick tour of the PM2 command line tool that will then configure to manage our authentication microservice. So let's start by installing the PM2 package globally using the G option flag. To start an application in production mode, we can run the PM2 start command that will daemonize, monitor, and keep it running forever. On the other hand, we can use the name option flag to give that process a more explicit name that will make it easier to manage in the future. Now, to list all of the processes managed by PM2 as well as additional information such as their uptime, status, CPU usage, or memory usage, we can use the PM2 list command. From here, we can stop a running process using the PM2 stop command, which as a side note will send a SIGINT signal that can be intercepted by the application in order to clear all the resources in use, such as database connections or processing jobs before terminating. Finally, we can remove a process from the managed process list using the PM2 delete command. Over time, it will happen that a process needs to be restarted due to an abnormal consumption of resources, updates in the source code, or repeated errors that need to be fixed. When a process terminates, the PM2 daemon will automatically try to restart it. In some cases, it can be useful to define the conditions under which these processes should be restarted, or in certain cases, not restarted at all in order to preserve the system's resources. So here's a short list of the most useful options provided by PM2 to delimit the boundaries of these restarts. As with NodeDaemon, you can configure PM2 to automatically restart an application by watching for file changes within the directory and subdirectories of the project using the watch option flag, which can also be combined with the ignore watch flag. The max memory restart option flag allows you to restart an application whenever it reaches a certain threshold, which can help prevent a heap out of memory error if, for example, the server it runs on has a limited amount of memory, like a small EC2 instance, for example. The restart delay option flag allows you to wait for a certain amount of milliseconds between restarts, which can help reduce the pressure on the database or external providers. The max restarts option flag allows you to determine how many times PM2 should restart the application, preventing it from entering an infinite crash loop. And finally, the no auto restart option flag allows you to prevent the application from being restarted at all, which can be useful for one-time use scripts. Note that all of these option flags can be combined together except for the last one. Also note that the application can be manually restarted using the PM2 restart command. As opposed to a restart, PM2 offers the possibility to reload your application with a 0-second downtime using the PM2 reload command, which will cause PM2 to start a new instance of your application before shutting down the previous one. When using this command, you should keep in mind that your system will experience a temporary increase in memory and CPU usage, which may lead to an unexpected freeze or crash if not enough resources have been allocated to the machine. Last but not least, once launched, PM2 will automatically write the logs of the application into several files in the PM2 folder located in your home directory. To display these logs, you can use the PM2 logs command that will by default print the last 15 lines of each log file of every process managed by PM2. On the other hand, to view the logs of a specific application, you can specify its name right after the command. Note that you can also use the lines option flag to increase the number of lines returned by PM2, or the error option flag to only display errors, or the out option flag to only display regular logs. As you've just seen, PM2 can be configured in a lot of different ways. In order not to overload our script commands with too many arguments, we can use a configuration file that exports a JSON object containing all of these properties. So on our Linux server, let's start by creating a new file named pm2.config.js in the root directory of our application. Within this file, let's write the following module that will set the name of our application to authentication, set the start script to app.js, declare the not_env variable for both the development and the production environments, enable pm2 to restart our application on file change while ignoring the changes in the node modules folder, set a restart delay of 3 seconds, and only allow for 3 restarts attempt in case of a crash or an error. Let's now wrap it up by opening the package.json file and adding the following prod script to it that will instruct pm2 to load and execute the pm2 configuration file upon startup.